So guys, today back for another video on the channel. Today we have the Newcastle United versus West Ham player ratings in a very interesting game. It's a game of two halves, you could say. But well, obviously if you want to go and see the initial reaction, rant, or whatever you want to call it, I put at the top, there'll be a link in the description and on the end screen to go and see that. But today I've got the player ratings. Be some interesting one today. Obviously some players weren't really at it, some players were very good. We'll go from bottom to top as we always do. Make sure to leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It wouldn't know if you could do so. We've just hit 12k subs, which I forgot to mention in the other video. 12k subs, we hit it yesterday, thank you very much. And anyways, let's get to the video now. Let's start off by Nick Pope. So Nick Pope, at fault for their goal, the first one. I don't really think you can do anything with a second goal. A lot of power behind the shot by Kunis, but the first one's very disappointing. We all know Nick Pope comes out as a sweeper keeper, and there's certain times you've got to do it, and there was one of them times. He came out, open goal for West Ham, poor decision making, but in the second half he didn't really have to do much. He didn't really have to do anything in the whole game, to be fair. And the one time he had to, he fucked up, conceded 2 goals. He didn't really have to do much, so I'm gonna give Nick Pope a 5 out of 10. A bit low, could be a 6 maybe, but I'm gonna give him a 5. Kieran Trippier now, I thought sound, made a couple of really good challenges, organised the team well, technically got 2 assists. Obviously the first goal didn't count because Alvarez headed it before as I put it in the back of the net. Second cross was really good, first time in a little volley, really nice. Kieran Trippier done reasonably well. I wouldn't have minded to see Livramento play that game, because I think it's his type of game, to be fair. But it's one of them, can't do that about it now. Trippier was okay, done okay. 7 out of 10. Centre backs now, we'll start off with captain Jamal Lascelles. Yet again, stood his own, done well. But it's just annoying how West Ham didn't really do much in the 2 main chances they took. And then they had a chance after 2-2, which really should have went in the back of the net. But nah, it's annoying when the team doesn't really do much, and when they do get that chance, they take them, and it makes the defence a little bit worse than what they actually were. I thought Lascelles didn't really put a foot wrong, even with all the defence, didn't really put a foot wrong. Unlucky by Jamal Lascelles, couldn't really do much. He's going to get a 6 out of 10. Fabian Shaw now, obviously ridiculous goal during the week, absolutely buzzing. He'll still be buzzing. Yet again, it's a bit like Lascelles, didn't really play bad, didn't really do nothing bad. It was just annoying for him to concede 2 goals. He done well a couple of times. There was one time he was in the corner and he passed it to the West Ham player and he gave a bit of a niche reaction. But if I've given Lascelles a 6, I can only give Fabian Shaw the same rating, so Shaw's going to get a 6 as well for me. Dan Burn now, I thought he was quite good. I thought he held Jared Bowen quite well. Jared Bowen couldn't really get into the game as much as he has so far in the Premier League this season because he's been on fire. He stood his ground, had a good chance from a corner or cross. Ariola had to make a really good save. I thought Dan Burn was probably the better out of the defenders. Held his own, done well, and I don't see why fans are still saying drop Dan Burn shit, because I thought he was quite well. I don't know if I'd say a different game to everyone, but Dan Burn is going to get a 7 out of 10 for me. Midfield now, and this is where I thought we lacked the most in the whole game, where we just looked so dead going forward when the midfield had the ball. But we'll start off with Bruno. Obviously no doubt about it, all the midfield worked the socks off, and obviously game during the week against PSG where they had to give 150% to win that game, and obviously we won it 4-1 as we all know. But today they just looked tired, and you could tell the graft the arse off all weekend. You could just tell Bruno was a bit tired. He was, for me, he was quite lucky to stay on the pitch. Got a silly yellow card, I can't remember why. I didn't know if he made a challenge, and then literally 5 minutes later, for me, if I'm a West Ham fan, I'm fuming. I am. To be honest, I think Bruno deserved to get sent off in that game, a second yellow. But you can sit here and say well, Newcastle going to have the back going. Well, Trent should have been sent off in that game versus Liverpool, where he's got a yellow card, then he's pulled Anthony Gordon, where it is a second yellow. So we've got one back there, so I think you've got to forget about that Trent one and not really mention it when Bruno should have got sent off against West Ham. Couldn't really do much of the game. Every time Bruno was getting the ball, he was just spraying them to Trippier every time, but couldn't really do much. Bruno's going to get a 6 out of 10. Longstaff was quite similar. Done well, don't get us wrong, fought hard, but couldn't really get going. Wasn't his fault, didn't really do no bad, but it was just he couldn't really get going. A bit like Bruno, he just looked tired, and I think the international break now for him is come at the good time. He can chill out for a bit, still get his fitness back, and we've got a lot of games in October and November, so I think it's a good time we get a little bit of a break for the players and freshen up a bit, because I think Longstaff especially needed it out of all the players, because he came into the squad, done very well, fought for his place, got his place, and he's got to keep that up, and obviously playing every week, Wednesday, Saturday, he's got to keep that up. But overall, he was okay. He's going to get a 6 out of 10 as well. Sandro Tonali now, and it's, yes, I understand he's got to settle in at the team, and he does run about, he does work hard, but there was a couple of times today where I don't think there's any what's the word, any sympathy for him for obviously coming in new league and whatnot. I think you've got some of the basics he just wasn't getting right. A couple of times where, like, clearing the ball, blocking, a couple of passes were niffy, a couple of times going for a header and just completely missing the ball and whatnot, and I don't know. I think in that game Willock would have been ideal, driving us forward, getting play on the left hand side, and I think that's what we missed. Tonali's not that type of player. I think Tonali works well when Bruno doesn't play, but Bruno's been very good recently, so Tonali's been a bit hit and miss for me recently. And when we get back after the international break, I think Eddie Howe has got a tough one to call. Joe Linton will be fit, Willock will be knocking on the door coming back, so midfielders will come back into the team. Obviously Eddie Anderson will be coming back into the midfield, so tough one to call. But for me, Tonali, disappointing. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10 today. In the attack now, we'll start off with Almiron. I didn't think he was too great. Driving, he was running at defenders, but there was a couple of times he's running the ball out of play. Couldn't really get going in that game, and obviously he came off for Murphy. Don't get us wrong, didn't do bad, didn't do absolutely shocking, but just one of them games for me. It wasn't a type of game, and West Ham done well to hold his own. Obviously done well scoring goals recently, Almiron, and it was just a shame that he couldn't get one a day. Not bad. Miggy, 6. Elliot Anderson now, done well on the ball, and I've said it since day one, it's Elliot Anderson off the ball. He works hard, he does try and get a challenge in, but it's when he gets the ball straight away, he just gets shoved off so easily, and I think that's one thing that he's got to work on, his strength, which by time will just grow by playing more Premier League games and getting more used to it. That's one thing with him, he just can't really just hold off a player. There's a couple of times I think Paqueta came in and just nicked the ball off him so easily. But starting on that left hand side, a new rule for him. Obviously he came on there a couple of times, but normally in the centre midfield, I think he didn't do too bad on that left hand side. Couldn't really create much, but on the ball he was okay. Elliot Anderson, I'm going to give a 6. And then finally ending it off with double scorer Alexander Isak. Little fact for you, I'm sure you've seen it on the Twitter, but Isak is the second highest goal scorer in the Premier League, just behind Erling Haaland, which is unbelievable. It's unreal, and he's been playing out of his skin recently, scoring goals for fun, for absolutely fun. And in a couple of weeks' time, he faces his former team in Borussia Dortmund. I'd love to see Isaac score a Champions League goal, but it was really good to see him get 2 goals, and it was just so. Over the years, Newcastle United have lacked a goal scorer until Callum Wilson signed, and it's just nice seeing strikers scoring goals, and we done well today. Isaac done well. The only thing was that hat-trick. I don't think Newcastle United have not seen a player score a hat-trick since Jose Perez in 2019 against Southampton, but Would have been nice if he could have scored. Took him on the keeper, hit the post and came off for Callum Wilson, who didn't score against West Ham surprisingly, but Isaac done well. If he got a hat-trick would have been a 10, but I'm going to give Isaac a 9 out of 10. That is the player rating, boys, for our game versus West Ham. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. More videos will be coming out of the channel. Yes, it is an international break and whatnot, and obviously I don't do any videos for England, if anyone is wondering. I will still get some videos out. I might do some FIFA content, who knows, but see you in the next one, boys. Our next game is Crystal Palace at home, and then we've got our big game against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. A big couple of weeks for Newcastle coming up. Make sure to leave a like, boys, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in the next one.